Men going their own way, Australia. MGTOW Allies. Who are MGTOW Allies? Is there a level of so-called superiority or even order from the perspective of MGTOW vision? There are many reasons that cause one to go MGTOW. For me, I hadn't even heard of the acronym MGTOW till after I got crippled by Australian family law legislation and police domestic violence protocol, which is totally biased against men. Have you ever heard of a case where a female makes allegations against her partner, causing an ADVO restraining order to be put against her partner, yet he does not get charged for anything, but rather she is the one charged by the police for the same matter? This ADVO was placed against myself and causes me to be forced away from my children, who are currently 4 and 5 years old. This all occurred around 18 months ago. Through the roughest time of my life ever, I was blitzed by the most bizarre, baffling and confusing elements of the position that is given to a man in today's society, specifically by government that is sourcing revenue at the expense of men's lives. I've been using YouTube for quite some time now, at least 6 years. Ever since my children were stripped away from me, I started to look for answers. The first place I began was on YouTube. I came across many MGTOW channels that one would not even debate or argue whether or not they are MGTOW channels, such as Barbarossa, Stardust, Sandman, War Drums Fire, etc. The content that these gentlemen produce really does help men. Straight to the point, without much humour, just raw truth. There are many other MGTOWs that are also ran into via YouTube, such as Mate, who does not make MGTOW videos yet, has been extremely supportive emotionally and psychologically. Of what use are MGTOW allies, and who is a MGTOW ally? What is the importance of MGTOW allies? In my opinion, MRAs are not really MGTOW allies, only because it is clear and apparent that what the task is for the MRM is to try and get this broken system, which is based on traditionalism, back on its tracks. Their objective is to mend or fix laws that are being used against men via government. They even have females working side by side with them. Well, in Australia, men's rights groups worked with Parliament to help divorced men have more access to see their children. This was through the Howard government, only to then have their hard efforts upturned and stripped away by Julia Gillard's government a couple of years ago. So why are MRAs, especially in Australia, wasting their time? If you can build a house made out of straw to only have a big bad wolf come along to blow your house down, then why the hell are you building your house from straw again? The big bad wolf is still around. Also, because of the affiliation that men's rights groups have with government, they can be easily influenced to have a much softer impact. There is even the possibility, a very real possibility, that they can undermine efforts of men going their own way, especially on a collective level. True MGTOW allies, in my opinion, are men such as the straight shooter. In my opinion, I believe that his eyes have now seen the world through a different vision. His works and efforts in his MGTOW presentations have had a real strong effect on myself. I believe that he's a man now that has MGTOW vision, sees the world for what it really is, but is stuck between a rock and a hard place. What he decides to do in his life with regards to the routes that he takes are his choices and decisions and his prerogative. For me, the support that I have had from men such as the straight shooter have been enormous. I cannot thank you enough. What you do is more important than just a definition. What use would it be if there was no such thing as MGTOW and men such as yourself didn't exist? Better yet, what use would it be if MGTOW existed but men didn't actually help each other? True MGTOW allies are important. No, they are vital and have saved men's lives. I know this as a fact. True MGTOW allies help dish out information to other men, whether it be by YouTube content, comments, or even just verbally on the street. True MGTOW allies see the system for what it truly is and wake up blue-pilled men, starving this misandric system. True MGTOW allies even cause men to go MGTOW, waking them up from the mistakes that they themselves have made, causing these other men to avoid traps that are there waiting to swallow these other men without a shred of empathy. How can the MRM be a MGTOW ally if it's working with the blatant misandric gynocracy that we call government? The only time I will see the men's rights movement as an ally is when the MRM starts to inform other men to avoid marriage at all costs. Till then, the MRM is only that, the men's rights movement, a movement that fights and squabbles for crumbs that are flicked off a table by government.